Ethnography by Jason Edwards. What is ethnography? Ethnography is the art and science used to describe a group or culture. Ethnographers search for predictable patterns in the lived human experiences by carefully observing and participating in the lives of those they study. Core characteristics of ethnography. First, it is conducted on site or in a naturalistic setting in which real people live. Second, it is personalized, since you, as the researcher, are both an observer and participant in the lives of those being studied. Third, ethnography is a dialogue, since conclusions and interpretations formed through it can be given comments or feedback from those who are under study. What are the benefits of ethnography? Ethnography can be conducted entirely by one individual. It is longitudinal in nature, allowing you as the researcher to observe and record changes over time. It allows you to get an insider's view of reality. It allows you to collect data in a realistic or naturalistic setting in which people act naturally, focusing on both verbal and nonverbal behaviors. How to collect the data. 3 data techniques are used most commonly in ethnography: observation, interviewing, and archival research. Researchers who use ethnographic methods tend to engage in participant observation and field interviewing and use archival research to support or contradict similar findings. Stages of ethnography research. Problem formulation, selecting a research setting, gaining access, presenting oneself, gathering and recording information, and data analysis. Example of an ethnographic study. Learning to coach through experience, reflection, and model youth sport coaches by Gilbert and Trudel. In spite of the worldwide popularity of youth sports, effective coaching programs for youth coaches are scarce. Youth sport coaches consistently made of volunteers without certification, formal training, opportunities for professional development that would typically be offered by other educators. Therefore, the purpose of this study was to investigate how youth-level sport coaches learn despite having a formal coaching education program. The primary question researchers wanted to answer was, how do model youth sport coaches learn through experience and reflection? Ethnographers likely focus their analysis on 1 or 2 particular concepts connected to their research questions rather than analyze an entire range of critical issues. This methodology narrows down what these researchers are trying to identify in these model youth sport coaches. The participants of this study were 6 youth soccer and ice hockey coaches, and each coach had an average of 10.7 years of experience, and the teams they coached were comprised of 10 to 14-year-old athletes. The following study took place over a year. Data collection consisted of background interviews, documents, game and practice observations, on-site interviews, interval summary interviews, and member check interviews. Gilbert and Trudel prioritized observation as each of the 6 coaches were visited and evaluated at least 9 different times. Preseason, midseason, and postseason reports allowed for the coaches to monitor their performance throughout the year, and interviews were conducted after games and consisted of questions pertaining to the decision-making of the coach. The results of this study suggest in order to become a model youth coach, one must use reflection to learn through experience. 3 specific types of reflection are necessary: reflection in action, which occurs in the midst of the activity, reflection on action, which occurs between practices, and retrospective reflection on action, which occurs after the completion of the season. Conclusion. In order to become a model coach, one must use reflection to learn through experience. Coaches that are at a disadvantage because there is no agreed upon curriculum on what these young athletes should learn. The issues found in this study can be used to construct a motivating, realistic, and effective real-life coaching education program that can be implemented with limited resources. Furthermore, the results of this study could be used to help develop youth coaching education programs. Thank you.